afternoon, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I did hear from multiple faculty and staff that this is just a crazy busy time with everyone back on campus. And so numbers might be down, but people are still going to listen to the recordings, etc. So we will press on. And I think we will have more people joining us in October. Of course, if you know of any faculty and staff that are interested in nutrition and would like to just take a short session and cover a topic, please invite them to these talks. I am Cara, your campus dietitian, and today we're going to start by talking about smart start to the semester. I just know everyone has been totally busy. Schools are starting up if you have young children or high school age children, or maybe you just moved someone off to college. Maybe you're watching grandchildren. So everyone is just really busy, let alone getting back into the work schedule and full swing of things back in person. So thank you for joining me today. This session will be recorded, and I just want to go over just a couple of housekeeping things. In the notes section or the chat box, I did post some information. My contact information is there, but I also wanted to make sure that you had a copy of the slides in case we have any technical difficulties along the way, which may happen. I also posted the link to the YouTube channel there. So if you need to leave early for any reason, if you have technical difficulties, if you want to share it with a friend, once the session is finished, the recording will be posted on YouTube for sure by tomorrow morning. So you'll be able to utilize that, and hopefully that is some good resources as well. I also posted a website for Super Healthy Kids, and I'll talk about that as we get a little further along. But just so if any of you joined me last semester, these were really well received, and I'm excited to be back again talking about nutrition across our district, which is the state of Tennessee, universities that I cover. And I am excited that a lot more people are starting to partner with the insurance incentives or wellness benefits. So please check with your university HR. I know specifically Belmont has a Blue Cross Blue Shield incentive. Lee University has a wellness points for faculty and staff. So reach out to your HR person or your wellness director if you'd like credit for this class. If you're not already receiving credit, I would love to work with your HR group to get you all credit. I realize this is a bit of your time, and I appreciate you being on. I did, though, want to let you know that last semester the talks were a little bit longer. This semester, I'm going to try to keep them to 20-25 minutes and then allow the 5 to 10 minutes at the end for questions. I don't have your phones, I'm sorry, your cameras or your microphones on right now, but we'll be able to use the chat box at the end. And if anyone wants to come off mute at the end, I can change the settings around a little bit. Just wanted to make sure while we're recording that it was pretty smooth sailing. So again, for anyone who came on a little bit late, my name is Cara Miller, and I am your campus dietitian. I do cover Nashville area universities, and I am recording the session. So make sure that you check out with your insurance if there's any incentives there. My contact information is at the bottom of the page. That is my work cell, so feel free to text, call, whatever you need. Also, email is available as well. So reach out in any way that's convenient for you. So today's topic, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about trying to do nutrition with a crazy busy schedule. So I kind of broke it down into 4 topics. I thought, well, when I'm really busy, what do I have trouble with? And I thought this would be a good refresher for me too. And so I wanted to cover breakfast on the go. We tend to be running a lot in the morning, and this is actually something I've heard a lot from our students as well, that they're having trouble with breakfast. So I thought it's probably pertinent for you all as well. We'll talk about some easy meals and easy cleanup, different ways that we can make the meal process a little bit easier and still get in some of the key nutrients. I wanted to talk about speedy shopping because, as you all know, if there isn't food in the house, then we often eat out. Or if there isn't easy food to cook in the house, we will often eat out or skip or have cereal or whatever, which is okay on occasion, but when it becomes the norm, we want to make sure we fix that trend. And then I also wanted to cover a few on-campus options. Now that we're back on campus, you all are back on campus, making sure you're aware of the different options that can be really convenient and easy, especially with the busy schedule. So I wanted to go over first how I create these meals and how we create these plates. Similar to what I use for athletes and for our general population of students and adults, uh, this is a great guide. If you can look at your plate and say, where's my color? Where's my protein? Do I have a carbohydrate or fiber? Those are really going to make sure that you're kind of hitting your key components. Of course, we always want the healthy fats in there. That is wonderful for our heart health as well as feeling full and satisfied. Um, the protein and the carbohydrates are also going to contribute to that feeling full and satisfied. We've all had that meal where you're like, oh, that just really didn't quite cut it. And so making sure that you have a really well-rounded meal will sustain you not only for a snack, but also for your meals. So that if you do have an extended time in between, hopefully you'll feel full for a little bit longer. The other good reminder is making sure you're getting in enough water. So as we get busy, maybe it's buying a new water bottle, maybe it's finding something special to drink out of. Maybe now that you're at your desk, it's bringing two water bottles because a water fountain isn't super convenient or you need to stay seated for a period of time. So just planning ahead a little bit to make sure that you're staying really well hydrated. Our hunger and our thirst are right next to each other in the brain. And a lot of times we get confused. Like you have a little snack, oh, that really didn't quite do it. Let me try this. That didn't do it either. Sometimes it's your body just saying, you know what, you're really thirsty. And so we need to pay attention to those cues and even plan ahead a little bit so that we make sure that we are well hydrated so that we can better understand our hunger cues as well. Okay, so on to breakfast. Let's talk on the go. So, one thing that I really wanted to talk about is how do we make breakfast convenient? This might be something that you do at home. It could also be something you keep in the car or at work. When we're running around and maybe you have an early day, maybe you're teaching an early class, maybe you open the office at 7 a.m., making sure that you have something there or in your car or something that's convenient. So, if you're running out the door, you don't lose track of time and skip the meal altogether. So this might be as easy as packing something the night before. I'm not a night person. I'm definitely a morning person. So for me, this would be getting up early, but everyone is a little bit different. Another option might be microwave or no cook meals. So maybe you want to put some overnight oats in, especially if you're planning ahead the night before. Maybe it's keeping those little packets of oatmeal in your desk drawer. Maybe it's taking some protein bars and some applesauce squeezies and keeping them in your car. They're shelf stable. If you don't get the chocolatey ones, they're not going to melt all over in this heat we've been having. But try to keep something that you could keep in the car or grab and go on the way out. Maybe it's even cleaning out the bottom drawer next to where you keep your keys so that on your way out, you can open the drawer, grab something out of there, grab your keys, and head out the door. Usually we make time to brew coffee or whatever, but sometimes we forget to eat. So making sure that you have those options available to you. And another one that would be microwavable if you plan a little bit ahead are those little egg muffins. I've talked about them on here before, but that is one reason you could hop over to the Super Healthy Kids website I posted in the chat and just type in egg muffins. It sounds like egg muffin. Ooh, I don't know. But it's basically like a little omelet that you bake in the oven. And they come out in these little discs because you use a muffin tin. They keep in the fridge for a week. They keep in your freezer for 3 months. So all you have to do is microwave them. So I have a breakfast sandwich here. I know a lot of people prefer to just purchase frozen breakfast sandwiches, and that is also an option. But another thing you could do is just toast up your English muffin, heat up this little, omelet disc in the microwave, and make your own breakfast sandwich. So that's another really easy option. And if you've got young kids like I do, put them to chopping. We got the little like pump thing. You can chop your veggies, or they can help you stir. If you've got older kids and they're just sitting in front of the TV, put them to work. Don't be afraid to ask for help. This doesn't all fall on one person, even though it feels like it sometimes. So again, that's another tip I've got today is like reach out for help. Don't forget to ask people. And then the last thing, I guess, is just to make sure you're adding color. So again, we're going back to, do you have your carb? Do you have a protein? Do you have your color? A lot of times breakfast, just especially in the United States, it's carbs. We've got pastries, we've got bagels, we've got donuts, we've got coffee with sugar and creamer, but we forget about the protein and we forget about the fruits or vegetables. And so thinking outside the box. If you need something other than eggs, it's okay to do a breakfast shake. It's okay to do a breakfast smoothie. You can add a protein drink or protein powder to it. If you want to do one of more convenience kind of protein bar meal bars, those are okay too. Again, should it be the norm every single day? No, but I also realize there are seasons and there are times that you just need to make it. So those are okay options, and they are going to help you feel full and satisfied without feeling deprived, which I also think is really important. So if we move on to easy meals, I am a full believer that if it takes 15 to 20 minutes to make a frozen pizza and your meal is going to take you 30 minutes to cook, you're going to throw in the frozen pizza. So tip is I really want to make sure that the meal prep and service or whatever takes less than the time to cook a pizza, or one of those easy, super easy, convenient meals, because it's just going to help you. And honestly, even as a dietitian, we do frozen pizza at our house once a week. I just think it's important that making sure you have well-rounded nutrition on some of the other days, everything in moderation. There's 21 meals in a week. If you choose crazy things for one or two of them, it's not the end of the world. If you choose a frozen pizza for one of them, it's not the end of the world. So do what works for you, but again, looking for your protein, your carbohydrate, and your color. So let's look at some easy options. Prep again the night before or on the weekends. And so this could mean, maybe you don't have time, maybe you don't have the energy, maybe you don't have the willpower. It doesn't matter to me. If it's easier for you to purchase pre-sliced peppers at the grocery store, go ahead and do that. Lately, I've been buying pre-chopped or pre-diced onions in the freezer section because they were just going bad. We'd go through one and then they go bad, and then I need an onion and I wouldn't have them. So if there are some of those fruits and vegetables that are pre-prepped from the freezer section or diced and sliced in the deli section, by your produce section, take that convenience and spend the extra dollar, or if it's frozen, it's often cheaper than the fresh. So again, the frozen does not have less nutrition. So it's great. It's often more nutritious because it's frozen at peak freshness. So don't be afraid of the frozen options. I just say just be mindful if it has a sauce or something already on it, is what can get you kind of out of track. Here's one. Thaw your meat. This is one always you get home and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this. I've got the veggies, I've got my, microwave rice packet, and I'm good to go. Oh, dang it. My chicken is still in the freezer, and it takes, time to thaw and then time to cook. And then again, it's gonna take you longer than 15 minutes. You're gonna throw in a frozen pizza. So on maybe Sunday and Wednesday, set a reminder on your phone. Meat can stay in the fridge for up to a week, but I like to just say if it's coming from frozen, maybe use it in a couple of days. So again, if you put it in the fridge overnight, it will thaw out. So if you can, on at least twice a week, pull some meat out of the freezer. That way you know it's fresh. Put it on a certain designated shelf, whatever it is, so it doesn't drip on other things. And then make sure that you've got access to that so that it's not hard. I'm going to show on the next slide some things that you can do with chicken, but it has to be thawed, or you can do it while it's thawing for sure. Multi-purpose ingredients. So I already mentioned rice, but think about different ways that you can multi-purpose things. Chicken is pretty neutral. Whitefish is pretty neutral. You can do tuna if you like that. Don't forget that you can do breakfast for dinner. You can do an omelet or something with veggies, and that makes a really nice dinner option, even though it's not something that we would consider a traditional dinner. Pork is fine too. The loin is a leaner cut, so that might be a good option for you and can take on multiple different flavors. And then think about what veggies you can use in a lot of different ways. That way you have a set pantry so you can mix and match. Maybe you have steamed rice and you've got some form of pasta. I know there's a lot of great regular pastas out there. They have whole grain pasta. Now I was at Aldi the other day. They have like a quinoa and brown rice pasta. That's their whole grain option. So there's a lot of great options out there. You can of course use a whole grain bread, something like that. Don't forget your color, so your veggies, and that can come also from a pre-chopped salad. Those again, if you can mix up your flavors, that helps a lot. And don't forget about easy cleanup. I am a fan of paper plates. I'm a fan of aluminum foil. That crock pot that's sitting right there, they even have liners for those. They're not expensive, so it lines your pan. You literally just scoop it up and throw it in the trash and you are done. So some of those can be really handy. Sheet pan dinners are listed here. That again, you can go to the Super Healthy Kids if you have someone to help you prep, or you can get some of those frozen options. All you have to do is dice up the meat. So roughly everything's the same size. It gives you the instructions, but you just put it all on the same sheet pan pan in the oven and everything bakes at the same time. It's all done in the time of a frozen pizza. Again, super handy. Rotisserie chicken is another one that can be used in multiple ways. So again, I'll talk about marinades on the next one, but rotisserie chicken is super convenient. You can put it in with pasta. You can make a burrito bowl. You can chop it up and put it like a cold chicken salad sandwich. You could dice it up and just put it on a salad. You could cube it up and put it on a pizza, right? There's a lot of ways that you can use a chicken once it's already cooked. So don't be afraid to use like those rotisserie chicken options. Usually I just recommend if you're not going to use it within a day or two, just take it off the bone and then put it in the freezer. If you put it in the freezer on the bone, it's going to take a long time to freeze and thaw and get the meat off. So it's much easier with it's warm to take everything apart and then cool it down to throw it in the freezer. Okay, chicken four ways. This is one of my go-tos with a lot of people that are new to cooking, but it's also a good reminder to me. I figured this one out when I was in college, so it's never too late, never too early. Um, Take Ziploc bags, put a chicken breast or two in each one, depending on the size of your family, and then use 4 different marinades. Again, maybe you're just going to do 2 because you're only prepping for a couple of days at a time. But again, if you can mix up the flavors, then things don't get so boring. A lot of people I hear from, they're like, I'm so tired of chicken. I'm so tired of chicken. But almost always it's because they're just using Lowry seasoning salt, or they're using just garlic and herbs or something, and it gets a little bit boring. So think about balsamic, think about teriyaki, lemon pepper, and salsa. You can use these in a lot of different ways. The balsamic you could do adding chicken and rice. You can make a chicken salad with it. Again, I mentioned that pizza option. If you have teriyaki, of course, we immediately think of stir fry, but you could easily throw that chicken into a pasta toss, more of like an Asian style pasta toss, or a pita sandwich. Lemon pepper has chicken salad sandwich. You could eat it cold with rice. You could heat it up again, do with pasta, rice, and veg. And salsa. So salsa, Southwest flair, you could do fajitas, you could do tacos, taco salad, a rice bowl or burrito bowl. And these are all things also that a lot of kids will eat. If you're trying to cook for young ones, you can keep a lot of these ingredients separate. A lot of kids don't like everything mixed together, but I know even my kiddos, if we separate it out, so chicken's over here, the pepper's over here, the rice is over here, they'll eat it. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're meal prepping as well. I know I get really frustrated if I put a lot of effort into making a really nice meal and then nobody eats it. So think about what works, and then be flexible and adaptable, and realize that there are different seasons for all of us, whether it's we need comfort food because of a life event, or we've got kiddos who are learning how to put foods together. There are multiple seasons, and try to be patient with yourself through those. Foodie shopping. Again, if you don't have the food in your house, you're not going to make a good food choice. So one of my go-tos are apps. I know even lately Kroger down the road just redid their whole store and I couldn't find a thing. And so I finally thought, you know what? I'm just going to make a list. I wrote out a list. I went on the Kroger app. You can do this at Target, Walmart, everywhere. You just type in what you're looking for and it tells you what aisle it's in. So you can actually just make your grocery list, sort it out by aisle and row so you know where to look for it, and it really streamlines the shopping process. Of course, there are other things through the apps and delivery systems, which I am a huge fan of. I'll put in my grocery list on my lunch break, and by the time I get home, it's at my front door. I really like Instacart. They have a lot of stores on there. They have great reimbursement if your produce is bad. If it's delivered and it isn't up to par, they'll give you your money back. I always think that's a nice option. Customer service is a big deal. ClickList is another one. I know there's a lot of different ones out there, so find one that works for you. Talk with your friends. I'm sure other people are using them as well. And some of them even have like family memberships. So you can use like $100, but you can deliver to multiple locations so that if you have a family across town or someone in town or a kid in college, maybe they can use the same app and then just change the address. So you're only paying one of those fees instead of multiple. Mix and match foods, we kind of already talked about that, but I think the biggest thing is looking at your sauces and spices. I know a lot of us like different cuisines, we just don't know how to cook them. And that's, for me too sometimes. So when you're busy, you don't have the time to just putz around and try to figure out how to make a new recipe. So if you can use some of the pre-mixed spice blends or sauces, sometimes that can help you out a lot. And again, don't forget to add the color. So if it's a tossed salad, if you wanted to do Like those chopped salads I mentioned, I like right now, there's like a lemon pepper one, there's a sunflower seed dressing one, there's like one with like a sweet onion dressing, there's an Asian slaw. So I usually honestly buy 3 or 4 chopped salads, and that way too, you can take them with your lunch, you can put meat on them, and you kind of have a dinner. It can supplement other things, or sometimes because a lot of it is cabbage and stuff, I've actually used it in stir fry. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use those chopped salads as well. Hey, there's me. Options on campus. We're back to COVID stuff, huh? But I just wanted to let you know that there are a lot of great options on your campuses for healthy food options, lots of color, lots of plant-based options, gluten-free, whole grains, lean proteins. So don't steer away from the dining hall and the on-campus restaurants. There are a lot of great options there for you. Here are a few things I wanted to let you know about. Our Bite app is wonderful. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I highly recommend it, even if you don't have a meal plan. There's a couple ways you can use it. One is to see the menu before you go. It breaks it down by date, meal period, and then by station. So you can look at, okay, what's on for lunch and where is it being served? If you're in a rush, you don't always have time to like navigate around and peruse over here and then look over there. So if you kind of know what's where, it can help your process a little bit, or to help you know, I'm not going to go to the dining hall today. I'm going to grab from the retail spot. Or, oh, you know what? There's some great options in the dining hall today. I'm actually not going to go to that campus restaurant. I'm going to check out the dining hall with one of my coworkers. So those are great things just to be aware of. The other thing is that many universities have used the Bite app to order ahead at the on-campus restaurants. You can pay through it similar to like a Grubhub, and you can just kind of go and pick up, which I think is really, really handy. It also is really COVID friendly so that you don't have to wait in line, wait in the restaurant. Depending on what our numbers do this fall and winter, it will still be available for you to order ahead and cashless pay that way. I am really encouraging people to think about either adding a meal plan or add campus cash. Everyone's meal plans in Campus Cash are called something different, but the meal plans for faculty and staff are in blocks. So you can usually buy 10 meals, 20 meals, 100 meals, whatever, and they don't expire. They're there as long as you're there. So that can be a really great option to also save you some money. I realize budgets can be tight as we start the new year when you're sending kids back off to school and things like that. So paying attention to where those funds are going. The other thing is that Campus Cash. The nice thing there is it's attached to your employee ID, just like you swipe to get in buildings or whatever else. And so that ID also holds that campus cash, and it's a dollar for dollar. It's a $5 Starbucks drink. It's 5 of these dining dollars. But the nice thing is that they don't charge tax. So it does save you a little bit of money here and there. And like I said, maybe you want to put on, $50 a month or $30 a month or whatever you decide is appropriate for your family. And then you have that money budgeted, or maybe it's $100 for the semester. Then you have that money budgeted and you are able to use that if you forget your lunch or you're running late or you're between meetings or something like that. And then know before you go. So again, those menus are available there. But one thing I'd really encourage people to do is just embrace community. Maybe it's even a Teams or Zoom meeting with a friend you can have for lunch. If you want to go to the dining halls, they're doing a great job of trying to provide safe options. If you want to sit with your pod, you'll have like a table. If you prefer to sit apart, they're able to accommodate that as well. So try to get back into community. We're all missing seeing faces face to face. And we all know that many memories and community are formed around food. And so we really want to make sure that you're able to embrace that. And I think on campus is a great way to do that. All right. I'm going to take any questions. The next session I'm going to do is October 6th. I'm going to do healthy eating on campus. So I'm going to talk a little bit more detail about some of the apps and things that we have, but also other things that we've got. We've got some Simply to Go. We've got plenty of things, but I want you to show you kind of how to navigate, how to make a plate in the dining hall. So we'll talk about some of those healthy eating options on campus at our next session on October 6th. Um, I'm gonna hop out of here. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna hop off of here and stop sharing my screen so we can answer some questions if anyone has them. The other thing I was gonna do is add in our chat your university websites so that if you would like to add the dollars or the meal plan, I want to make sure that you have access to do that. And I can do that right over here in the chat. So there you go. They're on there. Again, take a look through the chat. I put my contact information, the PowerPoint slides. If you missed any part of it or you want to listen to parts of it again, there's the YouTube channel. And then that website I mentioned with the super healthy kids. They've got the sheet pan dinners, crock pot ideas, those little egg muffin things I was talking about. So that website is a really helpful one. And then I also linked up to all of our university web pages as well. Does anyone have any questions? I can change the settings probably here. Let's see. Let's see if I can save the settings while I'm on the fly here so we can allow people to unmic. All right. If you want to type in the chat, you're welcome to. If you'd like to unmute yourself and ask a question, you're welcome to do that as well. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and I'll look forward to seeing you all in October, but reach out in the meantime if you have any additional questions. Any questions from anyone?
I only see a list of schools. I don't see any of the links other than the schools and their links.
So I'm not sure, maybe I misunderstood the question, but to find the dining dollars and the meal plans, I put the website university and then I put the at sodexomyway.com website specific for each school in the chat. Are y'all able to see that?
Yes, I was under the impression there were some other links in there.
Oh, sure. If you scroll even further up, do you have that? It says like lunch with the dietitian, Cara Miller, my phone number. Are you able to see that one?
No.
Okay, let me repost it. That's no problem. Maybe because I hadn't started the session yet with everybody on, but let me go in, I'll post it again. We'll put it right at the bottom. Oopsies. So that has the PowerPoint slides, the YouTube channel, if you'd like the recording, and then the Super Healthy Kids website. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I see it now.
Perfect. Any other questions? Well, I thank you all for your time. If there's anything I've missed, feel free to call or email or text, whatever is most convenient for you. Now you have my contact information. I apologize. I'm glad you got that before we left. And I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon and we'll see you very soon. I hope to see you next month where we talk about healthy eating on campus.